Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The Curse of Oak Island. The team tracks how Templar knights traveled to Viking territory and across the Atlantic. The Curse of Oak Island guys discovered symbols in Europe that connected the medieval Templar knights to the Vikings. They also found ancient runestones which appear to be linked to the Oak Island money pit. Last night's episode saw Rick Lagina, Alex Lagina, Peter Fornetti, and Doug Crowell continuing their European adventure. They left Italy and the Netherlands behind to travel to the land of the Norse, otherwise known as Denmark, one of the Scandinavian countries where Vikings were prevalent. The guys and historical investigators believed they were following in the footsteps of the Templar Knights, who may have traveled in the 13th century from Jerusalem up through Europe and rendezvoused with the Vikings who helped take them to North America. Knights were likely lugging ancient treasures taken from Solomon's temple, including the Ark of the Covenant and the Golden Menorah. Rick and the guys have visited multiple castles, dungeons, abbeys, and caverns along the way, and they've been spotting the same old Templar symbols that have also been seen in Nova Scotia. The Oak Island team finds an ancient carving that links Templar knights and Vikings. In last night's episode, before leaving the Netherlands, the team visited Valkenburg Castle, where the Templars were imprisoned and persecuted. In the dungeon, the guys found symbols associated with the Templars, including the goose paw symbol. They also spotted a Viking symbol, a carving that signifies the famous sails on a Viking ship. This was another clue that the two groups were linked. In Denmark, the guys visited a 12th century church where they found a collection of runestones featuring multiple symbols. Amazingly, Rick and the others soon recognized some symbols as similar to those found on the Echo stone. Oak Island Echo stone is similar to ancient Danish runestones. The Echo stone was found in the money pit in 1894 at a depth of 90 feet, and its removal triggered a flood tunnel. The stone was subsequently lost in the early 20th century, but the guys still have photographs. The olive-colored stone appeared very similar to these Danish runestones in height, width, color, texture, and symbols. Could this be evidence that Vikings took one of their runestones to Oak Island? These stones were usually created for commemorative purposes, but could also be used to mark territory. The guys also visited a rock formation in Denmark that featured carvings dating back an incredible 3,000 years to the Bronze Age. Local expert Jean Cordua explained that the carvings were created in alignment with the stars and the sun. She suggested the rock formation was an ancient compass used for navigation. Did Templar Knights use Bronze Age technology to help reach Oak Island? On the stone formation, the guys spotted a symbol featuring a cross with 4 dots, a symbol they have seen in every location they visited and also found in Nova Scotia. The team had associated this symbol with the Templars, but here it was in a 3,000-year-old carving, long before Christianity existed. Expert Corjan Mole suggested this was likely the result of a cross-fertilization of cultures, where the Templars embraced an old technology used by the Vikings' ancestors. Meanwhile, Danish historian Ane Jepsenborg examined an old arrowhead found on Oak Island in the 1960s, and she confidently claimed it came from Denmark. She said the Vikings used the arrowhead from about 800 AD until the 13th century. This could be more evidence that something happened on Oak Island in the 1200s. The Oak Island guys often find more questions than answers, and this European trip sometimes felt like that. However, they certainly uncovered plenty of clues to suggest that the Templar Knights did team up with the Vikings, and maybe they transported a treasure to Oak Island. The salty breeze of the North Atlantic ruffled the edges of Rick Lagina's well-worn map as he stood on the deck of the ship, the waves slapping against the hull in a rhythm that seemed to echo the heartbeat of the very island they sought to uncover. Oak Island lay ahead, shrouded in the mist of history and mystery, its secrets buried deep beneath layers of earth and time. Rick and his brother Marty had been captivated by the legends of Oak Island for years, tales of hidden treasures, mysterious carvings, and the infamous money pit that had swallowed fortunes and lives. Now a new theory had emerged, one that linked the island not just to pirates and lost riches, but to the ancient and enigmatic Templar knights. Their journey began with a crumbling parchment discovered in a dusty library in Lisbon. The script, in a cryptic mix of Latin and Old Norse, hinted at a voyage undertaken by the Templars after their dissolution in 1307. The clues pointed to a daring expedition, where the Templars, fleeing persecution, had made contact with Viking descendants in Greenland, before venturing further west across the Atlantic. The idea seemed far-fetched yet tantalizing. If the Templars had indeed reached the New World, it would rewrite history as they knew it, and Oak Island, with its labyrinth of tunnels and treasure vaults, might just be the key to this hidden chapter. As the ship docked and the team set foot on the island, the sense of adventure and discovery was palpable. Gary Drayton, the metal-detecting expert, swept his device across the ground, hoping to uncover artifacts that might shed light on their theory. The beeps and whirs of the detector were the soundtrack to their quest, each signal a potential link to the past. Their first significant find was a medieval brooch, intricately designed with the Templar cross. The artifact, unearthed near the swamp, seemed out of place and time, yet unmistakably linked to the knights who had once guarded Jerusalem. Could it be that the Templars had left this relic behind during their secretive journey? The team delved deeper into the swamp, their excitement mounting as they uncovered more evidence. Pieces of chainmail, a tarnished sword hilt, and a fragment of a Viking longship, all pointing to a connection between the Templars and the Norse explorers. The finds were carefully cataloged, their origins traced back to the 14th century, lending credence to the theory of an ancient transatlantic voyage. The breakthrough came when Rick stumbled upon a series of carved stones, half buried in the underbrush. The symbols were a mix of runes and Templar insignia, a linguistic fusion that spoke of a melding of cultures. With the help of a historian specializing in Norse and Templar history, they deciphered the inscriptions, revealing a tale of cooperation and shared purpose. According to the carvings, the Templars had sought refuge with the Viking descendants in Greenland, offering their knowledge of fortifications and navigation in exchange for safe passage. Together, they had braved the icy waters of the North Atlantic, driven by a shared dream of a new land where they could rebuild and protect their treasures from prying eyes. As the team pieced together the story, they realized that Oak Island had been chosen not just for its isolation, but for its strategic location. The Templars and their Viking allies had established a hidden base, a fortress of secrets designed to safeguard their riches and knowledge. The intricate network of tunnels and booby traps, long believed to be the work of pirates, now seemed to bear the hallmark of Templar ingenuity. Their excavation efforts intensified, guided by the newfound understanding of the island's purpose. They uncovered chambers filled with ancient scrolls, detailing navigation routes and coded messages. One particularly well-preserved manuscript outlined the Templars' journey across the Atlantic, their encounters with indigenous peoples, and the establishment of safe havens along the way. The deeper they dug, the more the island revealed. They found a hidden chamber beneath the money pit, its walls adorned with Templar crosses and Viking runes. In the center stood a stone pedestal upon which rested a chest bound in iron and age. With bated breath, they pried it open, revealing a trove of gold coins, jeweled artifacts, and a weathered map that promised even greater discoveries. The map, traced in faded ink, depicted a vast network of Templar sites scattered across North America. It hinted at further treasures, hidden in places that had long been forgotten. The implications were staggering. The Templars had not only reached a new world, but had established a secretive and expansive presence. The team's spirits soared as they realized the magnitude of their findings. Oak Island was not just a treasure hunt, it was a portal to a hidden history that spanned continents and centuries. They had uncovered a legacy that bridged the old world and the new, a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of the Templar knights and their Viking allies. As they stood on the island, looking out over the Atlantic, Rick and Marty knew their journey was far from over. Oak Island had revealed many of its secrets, but countless more lay buried, waiting for those with the courage and curiosity to uncover them. The curse of Oak Island had been lifted not with the discovery of gold, but with the unearthing of a story that transcended time and reshaped their understanding of history.